What's up, guys? We're going to be changing out the intermediate steering shaft on a 2008 Toyota Highlander.
10 millimeter.
You're using a 10 millimeter socket here to remove the plate so you can jack up the car, and you're going to also want to remove the whole plastic splash guard on the bottom. Before I jack it up, I got to break the lug nuts free on the tire because we're going to be removing this tire to access the lower bolt on the steering shaft. The next thing we're going to do is remove the 12 millimeter bolt that is holding the assembly on, and it's kind of hard to see, but I'll zoom in on it here. And all we're got to do is remove that bolt, and then we're going to crawl under the car, use a long screwdriver, and tap upwards on that shaft, and it will just drive it right out. Alright, so it's important before I get too far along here that you want to keep your steering wheel and your wheels in the same place. So when you go to pull off the steering shaft, that your wheel doesn't spin around. It's very important that it doesn't spin around. So I just kind of locked it into place using the seatbelt. And now it's kind of hard to see where I am, but you're kind of reaching around like the vent at the bottom. And there's another 14 millimeter bolt, and what you'll want to do before you even start this is turn the steering wheel and make sure you can access that bolt. So at first my steering wheel was like straight, but the bolt was way up at top. I couldn't access it, so I had to turn my steering wheel to the right to be able to access the bolt. And keep in mind, I haven't pulled off the bottom yet, so the wheels will be a little bit to the right too. And right here I'm just removing that bolt. It's kind of an awkward position to get in to even see it, but it is possible. Now I'm just gonna grab the shaft and you're gonna sometimes have to give it some force and wiggle that thing. And I got a bunch of grease on there because I tried to grease it, and that obviously didn't work, so I'm changing it out. But you just kind of want to wiggle it and shake it back and forth and just keep pulling, and then you'll see that thing will just pop right out of there. And the next thing we're going to do is remove this clamp with a 10 millimeter socket. Here I'm just removing the other 10 millimeter bolts that's holding the splash guard on the bottom, so I can basically get a screwdriver, a long screwdriver, and tap the bottom of the steering shaft up and off, because it's kind of stuck on there and sometimes it's a little hard to shake off. So you're going to want to put the screwdriver right where the split is at, and I'll just really blow it up so you can see right where you're going to put it. I can't really do it and show you at the same time. I'll show you when I'm done. So that thing will just pop right off. You can see here it is. And you can see that shaft that it kind of sat down on, and all we did was just tap that thing straight up. Now I can go back inside the car and I can just pull that whole thing out. So this is the part, this is the side that's inside of the car. This is the side that is outside the car. Now the easiest way to get this part off, you can see kind of like how I was trying to put the screwdriver here,
and pull it off. That didn't really work. As soon as I put the screwdriver like this and locked it in there and pounded upwards, that whole thing popped off like butter. So that's what you want to do. And when you go to put the side back on and put the screw through, this is just a stick because I already put it on, but when you slide it through, the screw will not go through unless you have this part on right, and you don't want it to go on too far because then the whatever is in there on the inside is going to stop it. So what I do, you put it through just a little bit, and as you're sliding it down, as soon as you can get the bolt to go all the way through, that's all you got to do. Just tighten up that bolt and you'll be good.
Alright, so here I'm just sticking it back in through the firewall, and you can see that kind of beige vent that's banging around. That's right where the bolt is that you have to tighten. I'd show you, but you can't really see it with the camera. But you got to get all uncomfortable and really twist your wrist up in there, but you can get on that bolt. You just stick that bolt back through there. You know, you work the steering shaft up till you can slide that bolt through, and then the bolt will just slide through, and then just tighten that thing up. You're going to go around to the bottom and do the same thing. Again, here I'm just working that shaft downwards, trying to get it lined up just perfect so I'm able to put that bolt through, because if you don't have it down far enough, the bolt won't go through, and if you have it down just a little bit too far, the bolt won't go through. So I just kind of, you know, I'm just wiggling it up a little bit, try to put the bolt through, wiggle it down a little bit, try to put the bolt through till I'm actually right where I need to be, and then I go ahead and I put that bolt through. Then you're just going to want to use the 12mm socket, tighten that thing up, and you're done. If you get it all back together, your wheel's not perfectly straight. That's because it happened to move just a little bit while you were putting on the part. So you'll just have to go and take it in for an alignment. That's that, guys. Thanks for watching.